Hi, welcome to Make It Funny, where I take your suggestions and I make them funny. If you'd like to leave a suggestion, put it in the comments and I will make it funny or try to. Today's suggestion comes from repeat top contributor Polly7017, who said, "Can you make Maryland funny?" I'm not going to lie to you, this was a hard one. But you know what's great about Maryland? The Mason-Dixie line. A definitive line that separated racists from not racists. And that had to be so fun for the kids, right? Lots of kids are playing cowboys and Indians, but in Maryland, the kids go to the Mason-Dixie line and they stand on it, and then they jump to one side. They're, "Look at me, I'm a racist." And then they jump to the other side. They're like, "Look at me, I think slavery's terrible." And then they jump to the other side, like, "Look at me, I'm in the Union." And then somebody jumps, "Look at me." And then some nerdy kid, like a Martin type from The Simpsons, would stop and go, "Well, actually, even though technically Maryland is part of the South and the Confederacy, they did not really recognize slavery, and they abolished it much sooner than most people think so. And they also had more people fighting for the Union side than for the Confederacy. So your game that you're playing doesn't make any..." Shut up, Martin! Thanks for ruining our game. Now it's no fun. Also, Maryland is known as the Free State. Now, a lot of people think they call it the Free State because they were one of the first to abolish slavery, but that's not at all what it was. It's called the Free State because they were one of the only states during Prohibition to say, "No, we're not doing that." And you know why? Because they were drunks. Maryland, you think the Irish are drunks? I'm going to say this on St. Paddy's Day, blasphemy be damned. Irish don't hold a candle to the Marylanders. Those are the drunkest drunks in the whole drunken country. The world, I would say. I think if I went over to Europe and said, "Who do you think of when you think of drunks?" They'd go, "Well, Marylanders, of course." And you say, "Dave, why would you say that?" Well, first off, they didn't want to stop drinking even though it was the law. But secondly, have you seen the flag? Have you seen this abomination? Only drunk people could come up with this. Only drunk people could come up with this. It's such an abomination that Francis Scott Key was sitting there drunk, of course, one day, and he's like, "Look at that thing. I need to write a poem about what the best flag in the world is, just to get me from getting so anxious about looking at this stupid thing that some drunks made." And then he coined and penned the Star-Spangled Banner, to which now we all celebrate before we get drunk watching sports. I'll tell you what, though, I do have a little bone to pick with Maryland, and that is this. I'm from Chicago, and I am sick of every year Baltimore beating us out by having higher crime rates. I mean, we get so close here in Chicago, so many murders, where it's just so close. And then I look at the stats all excited, like, this is it. Chicago's finally got it. 4th of July weekend, certainly we've beat Baltimore. No! Ugh! Baltimore got us again. One of these days, Chicago's gonna win. Maybe the same time that the Chicago Bears beat the Baltimore Ravens, they'll also have higher crime rates. Because then in celebration of the Bears winning, more people will go out and kill each other in Chicago. So that I have a double dose of things to get excited about in the future, I guess. So anyway, that was Maryland.